So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video we're going to be going through Slim Fadey, which is categorically one of the strongest flak builds I have ever built. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise let's get straight into this video. So Slim Fadey, as you have seen from the footage and you're seeing right now, is a 3-shot fadeaway flak build with a ton of splash damage buffs, a ton of really good items and weapons, and when utilized correctly, just destroy all content in the game. Don't worry though, if you are worried about getting any of these items, the save file will be in my Discord. Link is in the description below, so you can get all of these weapons from my Discord, whether that is through Shift via Xbox or on PC. So let's talk about the skill tree first. The one thing I will say about this build and many builds that you're going to see now for flak is that a lot of these skill point distributions are going to be very similar because of the fact that we have so many skill points now and there is just not a lot of depth in the purple tree. So this is another build that we won't be using the purple tree just because you have to get so far down this tree in order to get some of the good abilities, and it's just not worth the investment. So let's talk about the blue tree first of all. Again, traditionally here we're going to be buffing our pet damage and our splash damage all the way down until we get to barbaric Yorp. Once we've got there, we're going to be moving over to the pretty standard orange tree here, of course, taking all the classics and capping out to Megavore. I did consider putting some points into Two Fang, but as we're going to be using the reflux so much, we're not actually going to use that here. Then in terms of the green tree, again capping out into the powering side, we're going to be using things like hidden machine for when we're using that mesmer grenade, so that enemies won't be looking at us, and therefore we are going to get that extra 30% damage for those enemies affected. The actual action skills we're going to be using is fadeaway, and we're going to be using the 2 center augments, until you are dead and not my circus. This helps with survivability. You can use unblinking eye here instead of until you are dead to just give you that extra little bit of damage, but just bear in mind we're only using 3-shot fadeaway, and if we're using the reflux, it's not really about damage, it's about crowd control. Then onto the weapon. So as we said before, there will be a save file on the Discord. All these weapons will be available. I have 4 OPQs in this save file. Some of these are high damage, some of these are different anointments depending on what you want to mix around. So ASC cryo here for next 2 mags, but we also have radiation, shock, and action skill active if you wanted to use gorillas in the mist, for example. Then we have a butcher here, which is a top tier weapon now in Borderlands 3. The main weapon here is the reflux. Now we have this in a ×7. There is also a ×14 in here, which technically does do more damage, but you actually don't want that much damage. You want the ×7 for this build. This will allow you to keep rocking Leave No Trace and stop you from running out of ammo. You will run out of ammo if you use this redundant version, but if that's your personal preference, it's in the save file anyway. And then finally, to round off the weapons, we have the no pew pew, a ×4 here in ASC shock. I absolutely love this weapon. No surprises here that we're going to be using a revolter of the shield because we're going to get that extra damage with the action skill start anointment. The mesmer grenade here, I also do have a ton of really high powerful fist slaps in here. The grenade mesmer is obviously very good because it has the dominant that will turn enemies against us, which makes the crystal phases, as you can see here, really easy. You can stand on the crystals in the Guardian takedown and nobody will come anywhere near you. That's really good. ASC radiation or whatever ASCs you want here, there's a couple in here if you need them. And then we're going to be using a pearl. There's a 57 in here right now. I am going to try and boot up TVHM and get a 72 dropped into here. Finally, we have a cosmic stalker. As long as there are ads around the boss, you are not going to have any problems with using a cosmic stalker for 99.9% of the time you're in here. There is also a ton of other class mods in here for you to use if you want to. This one here, cosmic stalker with splash damage and assault rifle, works really well for that OPQ and that no pew pew, but there are some other options in this save file as well. So in terms of the gameplay loop, if you have a ton of people around you, then you can use the reflux and you will just shred everything in the game. The footage that you can see here is on True Takedown, and we just absolutely dominated it. Then if you have a single target, you can switch to the Butcher, the OPQ, or the no pew pew, and you will still do a ton of damage. Guys, that is it for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise I'll catch you on the flip.